Hey, welcome to Back Talks. This is Dr. Sean McWilliams, and have you ever wondered about how you can possibly increase hydration to your body? Well, a lot of people do. A lot of people ask me as a doctor, how do I hydrate better? Is there a way to hydrate my body better? Especially if I've gone over an MRI and you have desiccation of your disc, which is dehydration of your disc that you can see on your MRI. People ask me, can you get them to rehydrate? Well, we're going to talk about something really cool today, and it's called structured water. And you may not be familiar with it. I wasn't familiar with it for a long time, and one of my patients turned me on to it. And thanks to my amazing girlfriend, Marisa, she asked me to do a presentation and live on it today. So that's what we're talking about. So let's get on with it. Hey, if it's your first time, welcome to Back Talks. And if you've been with us for a long time, welcome back. Always great to have you here. Hello to everyone. And if you have a question, let me know, please. So what is structured water? Well, let's talk about it. We're going to talk about the claims versus science. So structured water is water that is claimed to have a unique, organized, molecular structure. So what's that mean? Well, normally water is just free-floating H2Os. Okay, so you got an H2O and H2O and just in this random matrix, and then it makes up water. And as we know, growing up in school, we learn about the three phases of water. You can either be a liquid, a solid, or a gas, right? Well, believe it or not, there are some scientists that are saying there is a fourth phase of water. And it is called structured water. So what is structured water? Well, it actually happens in nature. And so here you can see that water structuring will happen in these two environments. At the bottom of a waterfall, where water is crashing into itself, or again, where a wave is crashing into itself, and it actually creates structured water naturally. And have you ever noticed that when you go and you're standing at the bottom of a waterfall, or you're at the ocean where the waves are coming down, have you ever noticed that you usually feel better? And there's a big reason for that, and they believe that it actually structured water has a ability to change how we feel emotionally. Yeah, it's a real thing. It's really fascinating. So there's a few scientists that did research on structured water. So one of them was Gerald Pollack. He was from the University of Washington. He was a researcher there, and he proposed this fourth phase of water, what he called EZ water, which I'm not going to get into today. Victor Schauberger was an Austrian forester and inventor, and he observed natural water spirals and believed that water's vitality was linked to movement. And then Masaru Emoto was a Japanese author and researcher, and I've read a lot of his stuff, claimed that water structures changes based on thoughts. That you can actually change the structure of water based on thoughts, and thoughts can change based off of water. He was famous for his crystallized water imagery that he did. So now that you know who was the leaders in all of this stuff, what are the proposed mechanisms? So what do we say that structured water can do for our bodies? Well, we can do alignment of water molecules. We can increase the exclusion zone, or the EZ zone, which I'm not going to talk about today because it's kind of scientific, but I want you to know that the EZ zone has been proved in many labs by many chemists and physicists in labs. And they don't always really understand it, but it has been very repeatable in labs of structuring water and its ability to have osmolarity. What else does structured water do? Well, it exposure to energy sources, so it has a better affinity for energy. So what are we trying to do when we make structured water? Well, we're trying to do this. We want to get, using, instead of free-floating molecules of water, we want the hexagonal shape increases osmolarity. What's that mean? It makes it much easier for the water molecule to get through this orange part called the cell membrane right here into the cell to add nourishment to all of these little things called organelles. that make up our cell. Here's our cell nucleus. So, you know, if you got a kid, right? Probably in elementary school, maybe middle school, you know, someone always had to do the model of a cell, a human cell. So you see all these parts: cell membrane, cell nucleus, ribosomes, mitochondria. You know, you can keep going, right, with all these parts. But the goal for health is to get optimal hydration into our cells to carry oxygen, nutrition, your vitamins, perhaps prescription drugs if you take those, get them into the cell so that the cell can produce cellular energy, do its function that it's programmed to do, and then get the waste products from that process back out of the cell, back into your blood, and then so you can excrete it out of your body. That's how it works. And what these scientists say is that when water is structured and is in the shape and becomes in the shape of a hexagon, it does that much more efficiently. And I'm going to show you some benefits. But before we do that, let's make some structured water. So Marisa asked me to do this because she was super fascinated about this and we were talking about it yesterday. So I'm going to show you one machine that you can use to structure water with, and that is this machine right here. So we're going to turn this on here for starters. And we will hit the setting for this. And so what I have done right here is, hopefully you can see this. This is called the water revitalizer. So the water that I have in here is reverse osmosis water from actually my reverse osmosis system. And what we're going to do now is we're going to structure it. And so are you ready? This is pretty cool. Wait for it. Wait for it. There you go. All right, now we are officially structuring water. I'm going to bring this a little closer and still try to keep it in focus for you. So this is creating a tornado of water. So the water molecules are crashing into each other at a high velocity and super oxygenating the water molecules at the same time. Now, can you do this yourself in a water jug? Yeah, you can, but you got to realize to structure water in a machine like this, the lowest setting on this is 9 minutes. The next setting up is 18 minutes, and the next setting up from there is 27 minutes. So the longer that you structure your water, the longer the water molecules stay in the hexagonal shape for you. And so that's what it looks like. It's pretty cool. So now you've seen how to make structured water, and you can do it at your home. So I'm going to turn that off. So pretty cool, right? And yeah, and honestly, I've been bouncing off the walls today, energy-wise, with like amazing mental clarity, because all I was doing was drinking structured water yesterday, plus my diet as well. I eat pretty super clean. So are there benefits? Yeah, there are benefits. Check these out. You know, I mean, we already kind of talked about them. Improved hydration, like I think that's a given by now. Enhanced cellular function. Well, we talked about that, right? More nutrition in, better ability to get rid of waste products. You know, your cells are going to function better, especially if you can get your nutrition into the cell better. And then neutralization of toxins as well. So are there common claims? Yeah, there are common claims. And I've seen some of these personally. You know, there's not a ton of research on structured water for some reason, which is really sad. I don't know if it's just hard to do or the machines aren't available to really like understand this, but there's been some pretty interesting research behind it. But I'll tell you what, you know, the claims that people have made of drinking structured water are pretty cool. You know, if you go on this company's site, Vitalizer Plus, that's the name of the machine, they got some pretty amazing testimonials. And one of the big things that a lot of people say is improved breathing. And I have to assume that the mechanism of improved breathing is because the water is so much more oxygenated. And it helps them breathe better, especially in older people. So that's huge. You know, people with like COPD, for instance, that's tough for them to breathe. So it makes it where you're getting more oxygen into your cells, more hydration. That's pretty apparent now that we understand how that mechanism works. As a byproduct of that, more energy. I'm serious, like I'm like like ready. I could keep going and talking for like 4 more hours right now. Better detoxification, reduced inflammation, and improved plant vitality. You're probably like, what? Improved plant vitality? Yeah. So I'll wrap it up with this cool little story. Honestly, I kind of thought this was full of a bunch of shit. Pardon my language there. I'm kind of like, really? My patient gave this to me. She's an absolutely amazing lady. I love her to death. Thanks so much, Sally, if you're listening. And you know who you are. And you have an amazing family, and you've blessed my family in so many ways. And I haven't said thank you enough to you. But if you're listening today, thank you so much. You've been so unbelievably kind to my family, and thank you. And you've made me get my health back after I lost my health back in 2012. So I love you and I love your family very much. Plant vitality. So yes, so she got me one of these machines, and I was like, all right, I got kind of a scientific mind. I'm going to do an experiment here. And so the experiment is like, if this is really true, would flowers put in a vase with structured water last longer and look better than flowers that were in non-structured water? Great. I think it's a great experiment. So I did it. And I was sorry, I was looking for the pictures through all my photographs. I could not find them because I took them years ago and stuff. But anyway, I'll have to do it, and we'll do it again. And I'll show you pre and posts. So took Gerber daisies, which need a lot of water. They're a delicate flower compared to like other ones because they don't have a hard stem to them. It's a very soft kind of stem. And so what did I do? We use the reverse osmosis water that I make in my home, which I highly recommend to you if you're not drinking water. Please get an RO system, a reverse osmosis system. You can get them for a couple $100 right now, and go underneath your sink in your house, and you're going to be so glad you did. Ask Marisa sometime, send her a note. We put one in hers, and like even her kids are like, oh my God, this is the best water I've ever tasted. And it's super clean. It's the way to go instead of buying bottled water all the time. So we did reverse osmosis water. We split the bunch of flowers, same exact flowers, split them in half, put them in RO water, and then RO water that was structured. And I changed the water every other day in there with the same thing. And in about 5 days, the ones that were just in reverse osmosis water did what you would typically expect from a flower. Stems started turning brown, and the petals started losing their hydration. You can see them kind of start to dry up and curl, and some of the color started reducing in them. When I went over to the structured water flowers, their stems were still green, and their petals looked almost totally brand new. So is there something to it? Yeah, I really think there is. So check it out. If you know someone that's got a machine, see if you can borrow their machine for a few days and drink some structured water and see how your energy levels are. See if you feel like you can breathe better. I'll tell you what, man, last night, oh my God, I slept so amazingly well. I mean, I woke up at like 6 something, didn't wake up at all the entire night, and I was drinking structured water, and I was just like, I was ready to go today. Which is such a great feeling. And why am I saying all this? Because I want you to want to get up and go. Hey, you know, I brought this in to talk about how this could benefit you if you have disease to your disc. You know, the most common cause of back pain and neck pain is compression of the spine. And we want to help you decompress the spine. And one of the ways is to get more hydration into your discs. We can prove it scientifically that it happens on a pre and post MRI within a 12-week period. Most discs will actually start to become lighter gray in color. So if you're dealing with chronic neck and back pain and you know that you got degenerated discs, yes, you can rehydrate your disc using spinal decompression when you do it correctly. And I think if you drink structured water, you can make it happen even faster and increase the integrity of your disc. What's that mean for you? More disc space, more room for the nerve to get out, less pressure on the nerve heals, you have no pain or dramatically reduced pain, and you get back out doing the things that you love to do. Like working in the garden, maybe like my new patient that I take care of right now, sewing and quilting. You know, that's her passion. I love. I can't wait to see what she makes. You know, when she can do that and not have back pain. And she's already doing she's already had improvements. You know, recently. If it's going bowling, like one of my other clients in Hawaii does, you know, or out golf, like my patient in Indonesia does, you know, that's what I want for you. If it's going and taking a dance lesson with your significant other, or going on a vacation or a little trip, a getaway, and you not having to worry about, oh my God, is my back going to go out on me? that's, man, that takes so much energy, right? You know, I had a brain injury in 2012, and I can't tell you the light that I used to have in my soul that would go out got so dimmed over the last 12 years. So dimmed. And man, I'll tell you, I'm getting that light back. I have an amazing doctor, amazing people in my life. I've totally changed my diet. And man, I feel so good. It's so incredible, and I can't tell you what it's like to get that back. But if you're suffering with that, I want to help you get your life back. Because I know how amazing it feels, and you want to live life again on your terms, not the terms that your back pain says you can have. Screw that. So if you're suffering with neck or back pain, DM me, just put in back pain, and I'll reach out to you, and let's set something up and say hello and talk a little bit, and see if I can help you, okay? All right. I hope you learned something new today. I hope this was kind of fun. If it did, you know, hey, I hope you'll follow us. And please share this. I can't talk to every single person in the world. And yet, do you know that every third person you come across has degenerative disc disease? Stephanie Trinkle, hey, what's happening? I'm having an amazing day. Thank you so much for that kind words. Stephanie's amazing. If you don't know Stephanie, say hi to her. She's an incredible human being, lives up in the great state of Pennsylvania, and she's always been such a great supporter of us and our channel and what we're putting out there. And I greatly appreciate you too, Stephanie. I hope you're doing awesome. But you know, I can't meet every single person, and I need your help to do that. So I hope you'll share this information. And if you know someone that's suffering and being told that they need surgery, please have them reach out to me first. I have saved countless, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people from back surgery, unnecessary back surgery. And now I can teach you how to do it from the comfort of your home, and you don't even have to go to a doctor's office. So please share that, okay? Because I would love to talk to the person that you love who needs help, and bring some of Dr. Sean's light into their life, because that's what I love to do. Good, I'm so glad. All right, everybody. It was great to have you here. I hope you now have something to talk about with your friends. Structured water and the benefits of it, because it's pretty cool stuff, and I try to always bring you some cool stuff. So I love and appreciate you. I hope you all have an amazing week. And you know, I will see you next Wednesday, Instagram 12:30, Facebook and YouTube at 1 o'clock. And if you have a topic that you want to know about, send me a message, please, and let me know that so I can do some research, and I can give you some great answers for something that you want to know about, especially within my specialty. So, all right, everyone. Stephanie, great having you here. Marisa, always great having you here. Sue, great having you here. And everybody else that's on our live today. Appreciate you guys. Talk to you next week.